Hello everyone, Princess and the Bear here, and this is going to be a comprehensive review of Kingdom Hearts 3. Just a warning before we get into it, we're going to discuss some of the different worlds in the game, the mechanics, but no specific story points or spoilers. So if you want to go in fresh, this is not the video for you. We'll leave a link for our rating for the game at the end. You shouldn't get it, what we think about it.
It'll be in the description box down below.
But yeah, we're not going to go into any of the actual story so that you don't have any major spoilers for this. Just a warning.
Be sure to subscribe.
Like, comment, all these things.
Hit that bell button.
Yeah, to get notifications about our other videos. YouTube's weird, sometimes it works. You know this, but we're telling you anyway. So, the game, Kingdom Hearts 3. We've been waiting for this for
14 years.
Long wait. Probably the longest that I've personally waited for any game. You?
It's the longest game Halo 2 was the longest game that I had ever pre-ordered with a whopping 2 years. But Kingdom Hearts 3 won for me with a 5-year pre-order wait. So, yeah.
This game has been a long time coming, which makes it kind of hard to review because if you're a fan of the series, I mean, you already bought it.
Yeah.
The game itself shouldn't exist in 2019. This game, because it's Kingdom Hearts, Disney, Squaresoft, it gets away with a ton that we would not excuse from a game in our current landscape of gamers. Like, it gets away with a ton.
Yep.
But at the same time, for being what it is, manages to be fun from beginning to end.
Absolutely.
A ton of fun. For the moment-to-moment gameplay, you're rarely doing the same thing for very long, and it's very good at building on the mechanics it teaches you and giving you different things to do in all of the different worlds. I mean, even all the way up to the end, it's throwing new things at you to kind of keep things fresh. So
I thought it was going to be a lot of just elements from Dream Drop, and yes, there were a lot of that, but you also got basically the best mechanics of every iteration of Kingdom Hearts all thrown into Kingdom Hearts 3, and it is amazing.
Except for you Chain of Memories people, nobody likes you. I'm just kidding.
I love Chain of Memories.
I've never been able to get in the card game mechanic, but
I loved it. I played it on Advance.
It doesn't ignore the story of any of the games. Everything, almost 99% of everything related to Kingdom Hearts is canon. So this is a really hard game to break into, and this is the first game in a very long time where I felt I needed to do homework to play. The last game that I did this much homework for before playing, and it wasn't even as much as I did for Kingdom Hearts, was Dragon Age, because Inquisition was the first one that I played.
That was not a problem for me because I played every single Dragon Age from launch day.
So I think for the people that are fans of this series, it definitely paid off your wait. This game could have been an absolute mess from all the drama that it had in the background between changing directors, changing engines. That would kill most games. This game delivered on basically everything I expected. It's not perfect by far, but I definitely walked away at the end feeling like we definitely got our money's worth.
I think that Square actually benefited rather well from having a change of directors and a change of engine, because I mean, yeah, Unreal kind of limits you on some of the things that you can do based on what they were doing before, but at the same time, you have a lot more people with that experience. You can bring a lot more creative minds to the table and actually add some great value. So I think they use that to their advantage very successfully.
Yeah, you could definitely feel, especially if you're into the background of how games are made, that the change of directors, because it was a switch between Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts, how the two games sort of blend into each other. And I don't know exactly which game had been in development longer, but you can definitely feel their influence on each other because there's like everything in this game. There's vehicle mechanics, crafting, cooking, different sort of, I mean, it's not just like one vehicle. There's multiple vehicles you pilot. There's ship combat. The gummy ship is back, of course.
Cell phone games.
Cell phone games are back.
Hidden Mickeys.
There's all sorts of collectibles. There's a lot for you to do in this game, and even like we've sunk 50 to 55 hours in the game.
Collectively,
there's still a ton of things left for us to do, and I'm gonna be going back to finish those things. This is one of those games where like, it's so fun. Yes. I want to do it all.
Yes.
Even like dancing games, like Kingdom Hearts, nothing is off limits.
This is
they
true.
basically do it all.
Yeah, they do.
So there's something in there for every sort of gamer, really. There's even, I would like to say, like sort of some like first-person-ish mechanics buried in there somewhere.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It worked. It's a very fun game that throws a lot of controls at you without being super overwhelming.
So let's start with Olympus. I think it was one of the prettiest levels as far as like color wise. I loved going up into the realm of the gods, and you get James Woods, so that was cool.
It was fun. It was pretty.
I don't like Hades' hair.
I definitely like. Yeah, it was
a little. It could have used a little bit better animations.
I liked exploring the world. I honestly, going into this game, I expected to be kind of sick of the Hercules world. You've gone there a lot in the Kingdom Hearts universe, and but it was fresh. It didn't feel like you were just retreading old ground again.
It felt like half of the Hercules story was in Kingdom Hearts 2, and the other half was in Kingdom Hearts 3, so you got a full Hercules story having played through all of the games, even though you had to go to Olympus many times in the game, or the Gladiator Arena, whatever it was called.
Yeah, thank God there's no Gladiator Arena, but it was a good level.
Sephiroth then, as a result.
No, the Final Fantasy characters are shockingly absent. They've toned down the Final Fantasy influence in this game.
Unfortunately.
Down to still basically the minimum. You have Moogles.
Yeah.
They definitely mentioned some of the other Final Fantasy characters that have been in the games, but you don't see them, and there's no new ones.
Yeah.
Just to get that out of the way. I know that was a lot of the things that I was saying before the game came out. People were wondering. The Final Fantasy influences are there, but not as much as they've been in the past games, which is...
it's alright, actually.
It doesn't take away from the story of the game at all, but just be aware that they're not really a big part of the game as they were before.
Honestly, it feels like the game's a little less weird, because Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 felt weird because it was like kind of almost disjointed putting Disney characters with Final Fantasy characters, and kind of the way that they made the Disney characters take the forefront in this iteration of Kingdom Hearts kind of helped it, I think, a little bit more. It made it a little more cohesive in bringing the story to its rightful conclusion, putting things where they put them.
Possibly, because when you get to the end of the game, having played most of the games, she's played all of them, it will bring together threads of basically every game to a significant payoff at the end. Not everything, but most of it. And while, like you said, the story is more streamlined, it still has a heavy Square Final Fantasy influence as far as how it's structured, because I mean, this isn't ruining anything from the other games, but definitely time travel, digital world, it's crazy, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it.
So Toy Story.
Yep. I thought this was probably the least utilized world. It was pretty, but I was expecting more.
I wasn't a big fan of it, really. I was ready for it to be over. It was cool, but I don't know. I don't really care if Sora's a toy.
It was nice seeing the world from that perspective, but...
I have enough Toy Story in my life right now. Toy Story Land.
Toy Story is a rich universe, and I felt like they could have done more with it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Tangled.
Love Tangled. I think Tangled was by far the most beautiful world of them all. Lots of greens and flowers and everything you would expect from that world. Rapunzel was hilarious.
Of all the worlds, I think that it probably matches the Kingdom Hearts palette the best.
Yeah.
And it's definitely, of all the worlds, some of the best and most beautiful set pieces. Rapunzel was just good. I mean, the world was good. It was very pretty.
Wasn't Mandy Moore, but it was still good.
But it was a very good level. Definitely like up there as one of my favorites. Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. was cool. It was a little dark for me. I mean, you're mostly in the business, like the...
You're in the Scare
Monsters
Factory.
Inc. Scare Factory,
the actual factory most of the time.
It was alright.
It's a fun level. Just like the other, it introduces different mechanics. They're fun. The main characters, Mike and Sully. I mean, it's definitely Kingdom Hearts. You get those like in jokes and everything else.
Interactions, which are cute.
There's probably like one of the longer worlds, it felt to me. Not as far as like the size of it, but just the story going back and forth.
I was a little bored with Monsters Inc., but it was still good.
100 Acre Wood.
It's like Candy Crush.
I'm tired of Hungry Wood. I love Winnie the Pooh. Being a bear, even when I was a child, I absolutely adore Winnie the Pooh as a story, but I did not want to go back for Kingdom Hearts. It's definitely the smallest world. It's pretty. It's small.
It's tiny.
It's integral to the story, so it's not just thrown in there. But it was pretty.
I would have rather had a Little Mermaid world.
I mean, I'd rather had Agrabah, but
yeah, I would take Agrabah.
So, Frozen.
Beautiful world, completely covered in snow. If you play it side by side with the movie, I feel like it did a little bit better of a job, especially with the world, and is even better on a PS4 Pro.
I think the animations in the movie are just slightly bit better, like in the facial features of the characters, but I mean, sitting side by side, it's kind of, I looked at a couple videos, you can search throughout there, but it's a pretty faithful representation. You felt like a lot more of a spectator in this world than the others, I feel. But it was fun, and I feel like this is the world that leans the most heavy on its movie. But it was still, a fun-filled world. Again, integral to the story. It does make sense, but, I wish I got to dive a little bit deeper. So, Pirates. I get it. Pirates, they wanted a live-action world. Pirates is one of the longest levels I felt in the whole game. It's a lot of fun, but it feels to me to be the most out of place because, you follow the story when you drop into a world in Kingdom Hearts, but it just skipped the whole movie and even acknowledges somewhere in the level that we're in the middle of a story, we have no idea what's going on. So, while Captain Jack Sparrow and being a pirate is fun, I felt like if they wanted a live action level, they could have chosen a better level or maybe done it a little bit differently.
I would agree with that, especially since in the last 14 years that they've had to develop this game, there's been lots of really good blockbuster Disney live action movies. They could have put Star Wars in it or something, But given the fact that it has been in production for 14 years, Pirates at that time was the cream of the crop, the best live action Disney movie around, so it makes sense.
And it is pretty, and it's fun. It's just
cool.
It's long.
I like crabs.
And I think world-wise, going from one end to the other is probably one of the biggest.
It felt like Assassin's Creed.
But as far as like the things that you do, and like I said, it's fun. But as far as the things you do in the level, it's probably one of the most repetitive.
Yes. Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6.
I love Baymax.
I fanboyed. I absolutely love that level. I think it makes the best use, as you can tell, it's my favorite level. It made the best use of the story and the characters, and it was so much fun. Like, that's the world that I would go back and replay just to play it, and it's absolutely breathtaking.
I love Baymax. I was just a little weirded out that Sora was taller than Hiro, but I mean, I guess it's to be expected. But still, it was just. I know Sora's older, but still, I thought they would be somewhere around the same height. I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely like, if you were to make a game out of for Big Hero 6, I mean, that's a good start. You just, in the world that you play, it's almost like a GTA version of San Francisco.
Well, and the fact that Disney went through the whole process of building out the entire world when they actually made the movie, so it was very easy to just give all of that to Square, give them a nice little base to start with to make this world. So I think they definitely used those advantages.
Yeah, definitely. If you've never watched a making of in a Disney movie, Big Hero 6 could definitely be one of the ones that I recommend you go watch because they put a lot of work into world building on that.
They did with Mulan too.
Gummy Ship is back. Whether that's a positive or good for you. This is probably one of the first times I actually had fun with the Gummy Ship.
I didn't care.
It's still as convoluted as it's ever been.
It's crazy.
But it gets you from point A to point B.
Yeah, that's all I would care about. Really.
They've added different mechanics. Sora has a phone now to take selfies.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, I think.
And different things. There's definitely a lot to do in this game.
They did a good job. Square did a really good job of bringing Sora up to today's age.
So overall thoughts? Kingdom Hearts as a game?
I really liked Kingdom Hearts. If you haven't played it or you haven't bought it, I think it's definitely worth the $60. Go buy it. I don't think you're ever going to get an action RPG series like this from Square Enix again. I think this is kind of their... I don't want this to be their last installment of Kingdom Hearts because there's still some questions that I have yet to have answered, but...
As far as games go, if I have to give this game a rating, and for those of us that have been fans and played, any of the games, my opinion doesn't matter. Go out, buy it. You're getting paid off for all the time you've been
Probably
waiting.
already bought it.
It's completely worth it. For anybody else, because of the game it is, and like I said, it shouldn't exist in 2019. No other game would ever get away with this. It's still fun from beginning to end, but it's the first game I feel like you're gonna have to do like some wiki diving, 20-30 hours of YouTube watching and catch up on the story, or go buy the 1.5, 2.8 games because they'll get you caught up and they're on sale right now. But I have to give it a 4.5 out of 5 because it's not perfect. It definitely has some problems. Pacing is good, but it has one of the most convoluted stories of any game I've ever played in my life.
Yes.
But I definitely think you can
though.
still have fun if like you're a Disney fan and you want to dive in. It's still very approachable,
Definitely.
and the older games still hold up even now.
Even if you've never played Kingdom Hearts and you're a Final Fantasy fan, definitely go out there and play it. Or if you're an RPG fan, you're looking for a new RPG, go play this game. Be sure to subscribe.
If you'd like to see us do more user reviews, we're nerds who play a lot of video games. Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.